Houston Texans owner Bob McNair on October 17th said something that pissed his players off and also a lot of the players in the NFL. Now, in relation to the NFL protest, and they were having a meeting about it, Bob McNair stated about his players and also the rest of the players in the NFL about the protest, we can't have inmates running the prison. He called players inmates, criminals. But we know that they like to use the word thug for black people, which thug means nigger to them. And if they tell you it doesn't mean that, listen to how they say thug, the vitriol, the hatred, how they use it. And then they'll try to flip it and say, well, you guys use it. We don't use it in that way. But I want you to hear Draymond Green from the Golden State Warriors. He had comments about what this guy had to say.
I don't think it should be up to him to change his behavior. You know, they got a commissioner in their league just like every other league. And that's ridiculous. You know, first they were sons of bitches, whatever it was. Now, inmates? Like, I know some inmates. They don't pay taxes. They're not community leaders. You know, they're not Jenkins flying to the White House and flying to D.C. and doing all these different things to make a difference. They're not Cap donating $1 million. So, that's like, come on, man. Inmates? Like, that's unacceptable. I wouldn't personally want to play for someone who viewed me as an inmate, because I haven't done nothing in my life to be an inmate. So, you know, in order to be an inmate, you're either in a hospital or you're in prison. Well, I'm not in a hospital, and I'm for damn sure not in prison. So, what did anyone do to? And then you say, you know, some people comment on my post, said it's a figure of speech. I mean, agree or disagree, figure of speeches aren't okay in 2017. So, you know, if I come out and give a figure of speech that's not socially okay, I'm going to get fined. I'm going to get ridiculed. If I come out and give a figure of speech on anything, whether that's race, whether that's sexual orientation, whatever that is, if I come out and give a figure of speech in 2017, I'm going to get ridiculed by any group that's formed to protect one's group. I'm going to be fined by the NBA. I'm going to be looked at ridiculously by the community. So why is that okay? I disagree with that. I don't see anyone out there that's, you know, an inmate. If you're an inmate, you're not playing. So, you know, they pay taxes just like he paid taxes. And, you know, if I've learned a bit about business, maybe more. So, it's a strong word to use about someone else's kids again. It's crazy.
Before we start the commentary, I want to reach out to our supporters and viewers to help us reach our 3,000 member goal on Patreon for a minimum of $2 or $5 a month. I want to thank every person who has joined us there. Without you, the show would not be going. So you heard the comments of Draymond Green, and I agree with him. Why would you want to play on any team when you're being referred to as inmates? No respect at all. These black men in the NFL have been greatly disrespected. As Draymond Green stated, they were called SOB by the President of the United States, and now they're called inmates. That's probably the least of what they're calling you behind closed doors. Understand something, brothers who play in the NFL. The owners have no talent. They can't get out there and do a single down. They can't run a ball. They can't do anything. You bring the people to the stadium, not the owners. You the one is the reason why the merchandise is selling, not the owners of the teams. And these owners are ignorant. A lot of them are extremely racist. A lot of them, mainly Bob McNair and definitely Jerry Jones, are Trump supporters. And what did you expect from a Trump supporter? You know, the high IQ they claim they have, but your high IQ isn't smart enough to figure out, wait a minute, I don't need to piss off the majority of my employees because it could hurt me financially. But you know, high IQ can't figure that much out. What do I know, right? I got a low IQ. But yet this guy is out here disrespecting these brothers. Now, once these brothers on the Texans heard what was said, they were royally pissed off. And wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins and rookie running back Deonta Foreman sat out of Friday's practice. They didn't want nothing to do with it. They stated they are going to protest on Sunday against the owner, Bob McNair. But if anything, have some self-respect and say, you know what, call your agent up and say, listen, get me out of this team. I want to be traded. I got to go. I am not going to stay here another day and let this guy call me an inmate. That's not going to happen. How much more, brothers in the NFL, you going to let these people disrespect you? They disrespecting you all the time. Do you know that if all of you would say, screw the NFL, we're not playing, they're done. If all of you was to walk away from the NFL and go to a new league, they're done. They don't understand that. But you have to make those moves for it to happen. Some of you are so caught up on the money these people are giving you, but your self-respect isn't worth millions of dollars. I'd rather have $100,000 in my self-respect than $100 million and I'm disrespected. I'm talked down to like I am not a man. That's why during the civil rights movement, those brothers walked around with signs that says, I am a man, because they're talking to you, calling you a boy, telling you you can't even kneel on the ground, talking to you like you are a child, talking to you like they are your plantation slaves. And when all these so-called owners are discussing these black men, they're talking about them like this.
Broomhill here is my property. And I can choose to do with my property whatever I so desire.
You brothers need to have some sort of revolutionary spirit about yourself. You literally got them by the balls and you don't even know it. Take a stand. Stand up for yourself. Stop being disrespected. Your children is watching. Your wife is watching. Your girlfriend is watching. You gonna sit there and let them disrespect you like that? For what? You the one with the talent, not them. You see, they don't mess with Marshawn Lynch like that. They don't mess with Richard Sherman like that. They don't mess with Michael Bennett like that. There's a few brothers that's not going to put up with that. But one thing Richard Sherman said is that he enjoyed the things that these people are saying today because they're exposing who they really are, that they shouldn't censor themselves. And I agree with that too. Let it out. Tell the world how you feel. You have free speech. Let it out. I'm not going to get mad at you if you really say how you feel about brothers. I'm not. I'm going to accept it. And I'm going to say, thank you for being honest. That way, some of the black people who just don't want to believe that's the way a lot of these people operate and think and say about us, they can wake up and believe it too. You see, there are people that say, I just don't want to hear about politics. I want to play football. I want to see what football is doing. I enjoy football. Well, you should tell Donald Trump that. You should tell everybody else is getting involved with this, that. Because think about it. When it was just Colin Kaepernick doing it and nobody really saying much about it, it stayed just kind of on the football field and it spread. But the moment that idiot got up there, call them SOBs, then that's when it blew open, and he keeps tweeting, instead of worrying about Robert Mueller and them charges that he just dropping. Instead of worrying about that, he's tweeting about the NFL. So why she start tweeting again about the NFL? He wants to distract you, because that guy in the White House, he's a master of distraction. He always try to shift you away from what he got going on, so you don't zero in what he's doing. Trust me, but that's just a classic, white supremacist move: deflect, deny, create drama so you don't focus on them. This same old. But you brothers on the Texans team, and those two brothers, DeAndre Hopkins and Deonta Foreman, I'm going to send this commentary directly to you on Twitter. And if you watch it, I hope you do. But take a stand on your team and say you're men. And you're not going to let this old 79-year-old man, because that's how old he is, talk to you like you're a child and call you an inmate. It's time for you brothers to stand up. It's time for you brothers to take a lead and take a stand, because everybody looking at y'all like, man, y'all gonna let them keep punking y'all like that and talking to y'all like that? It's time to stand up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Share the video on your social media pages. Like the video, subscribe, and make sure you click the bell by the subscribe button in order for you to get the future commentaries or live streams that we will post.